Hey guys, we're going to go through some integer word problems. So let's go to slide 2. It says the temperature dropped 12 degrees Fahrenheit in 8 hours. If the starting temperature was -7 degrees Fahrenheit, what was the new temperature? So I sometimes like to put little like negative or positive signs or addition or subtraction signs, operation signs, whatever, like above the words just to help me. So the temperature dropped, that's a minus or a negative idea. So let's see. The starting temperature, I'm going to start with the starting temperature. That seems to make sense. So I'm going to start with my -7 degrees. That's where it started. It dropped, so subtracted. It went down, +12 degrees. So that's what my expression should look like. And let's get a better color. And now I'm going to solve it. So it's subtraction, which means I need to keep, change, change. So I'm going to keep -7, change this to addition, and change this to a -12. Then I can follow my addition rules. So same signs, add and keep. So I'm going to add these together. 12 plus 7, which is 19. Keep the sign, so it's -19. And then I look back at the question because sometimes there's a word in the question that makes you change this to like the absolute value to make it a positive, and sometimes there's not, and you can leave it negative. So the temperature, I have to think, can temperature be negative? Yes, it can. So my answer will be -19 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Next. Helena borrowed $189 from her parents to buy an electric bass. She paid back $56 last week and $64 this week. So how much does Helena still owe her parents? So this borrowed, this is kind of a tricky one. This is really actually a negative word because while she got money, she now needs to pay it back. So she's ending up needing to take that away from herself eventually. So that's turning into a -189. But then she pays back, so she adds like to her parents. It's almost like from her parents' point of view. She gives them, so she adds a +56, and then she gives them or adds a +64. So that's really what our expression should look like. Now we can solve it. I'm going to solve it one step at a time. So I'm going to do these two, different sign, subtract. So I'm going to take 189 minus 56. And go ahead and subtract that. 9 minus 6 is 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. 1 minus 0 is 1. And keep the sign a larger number, so it's still a -133 plus the 64. Now I'm going to do that step. Again, different sign, subtract. So 133 minus 64. Do a little bit of borrowing here. And I'm getting 69, a -69. Now I go back to my question. How much does she still owe her parents? This word is key. When you owe someone, you owe them a positive amount. So even though our answer is a -69, when I add my unit here, I'm going to say she owes $69. You don't owe a negative amount, you owe a positive amount because that word owe is a negative word. It already takes care of that negative sign for you. All right, next one. The daytime high temperature on the moon can reach 130 degrees Celsius. At night, the temperature can drop is a negative word, goes down, right, to -110 degrees Celsius. So what is the difference? Difference is a subtraction word, right, between the high and low temperatures. So I'm going to start with my high temperature, +130, and then it's dropping. Okay, so going down, and it's asking the difference. Difference means subtract, so I'm going to subtract my -110 degrees. Go ahead and solve that one, and then I'll solve it with you. All right, so we should keep, change, change. So keep 130, change to addition, change to +110. Now they're the same sign, so same sign, add and keep. So 130 plus 110 gives me 240. And let's see, again, it's temperature. So temperature is going to be, it can be positive, it can be negative. So this is a +240, 240 degree Celsius. Okay, and because they were talking about the difference, that's like the distance between them, this really should be positive. The distance between these two numbers is a positive number. All right, next one. The submarine is diving from the surface. Diving is going down. That's a negative word. So diving from the surface of the water at a rate of 90 feet per minute. What's the elevation of the submarine after 7 minutes? So if I do this much, it's 90 for 1 minute, but I'm doing it for 7 minutes, that's multiplication. So it's a negative 90 because it was diving down times 7. So I'm going to just multiply that first. So 90 times 7, 7 times 0 is 7, 7 times 9 is 63. So I'm getting 630. Negative times positive makes this negative. Remember your sleeping dog. Okay, negative times positive, the leftover one is a negative, so my answer is negative. Or remember, you can just remember that different signs are negative, same signs are positive. And then I can look back at my question, oopsies, and it's elevation. So I have to think, can elevation be positive and negative? It can be negative, so this is a negative 630 feet. Okay. All right, next, the low point of the Tonga Trench in the Pacific Ocean is negative 10,630 meters. Low point of the Mariana Trench, also in the Pacific Ocean, is 890 meters lower. Lower is a negative word or subtraction word. So what is the depth of the Mariana Trench? Okay, so I'm going to start with my original amount. So for the Tonga Trench, it was negative 10,630. I want to know, let's see, it's lower, so I'm subtracting, and I'm subtracting the 890 meters. Okay, go ahead and solve it real quick. Okay, so keep, change, keep this negative 10,630, change it to addition, change it to a negative 890. Now they're same signs, add and keep. So I'm going to do 10,630 plus 890, 0, 12, let's see, 15, 1, 1. Okay, so I'm getting 11,520. They're both negative, so it's negative. But now I'm going to go back to my question. What is the depth? Again, a key word, depth. Depth already means down. It means negative. So when I write this with my unit, I'm not going to put the negative sign because it's really 11,520 feet deep. That word deep means it's negative. It means it's down. So I do not need that negative sign. That is key here. Okay, Ethan burns 650 calories when he runs for 1 hour. So burns is a negative. He's getting rid of those calories. How many calories does he burn when he runs for 5 hours? So again, 650 is for 1 hour. He's going for 5 hours. So I'm going to multiply the negative 650 times 5. Go ahead and solve that. Okay, so 650 times 5. 5 times 0 is 5, or 0, all right. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Okay, so I'm getting 3,250. Negative times positive makes it negative. So negative 3,250, but I'm going to go back to my question. It's asking me how many calories does he burn? Burn, again, is already a negative word. If you said he burns negative calories, that means he's gaining them. That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to say 3,000, positive 3,250 calories burned. That is key. Again, that word is the negative sign for us, so we do not write the negative sign. All right, the Aral Sea and the Caspian Sea are actually lakes. The elevation of the Caspian Sea is 92 feet below sea level. Okay, below sea level is a negative. The Aral Sea is 217 feet higher. Higher is a positive, right? It's going up. So what is the elevation of the Aral Sea? So I'm going to start with my Caspian Sea of negative 92. Again, negative because it's below sea level. Aral sea is higher, so I'm going to add on, and it's 217 feet higher. So there is my equation, or my expression. Go ahead and solve that and come back. Alrighty, so different sign, subtract. So I'm going to take 217 minus 92. Gives me 5, borrow. Looks like I get 125. And keep the sign of the larger number. The larger one was positive, so positive 125. It is asking me for elevation. Remember, elevation can be positive or negative. This is now above sea level, so it should be a positive 125 feet. So 125 feet is my answer. Okay, you could say above sea level. That's okay too if you want to add those extra words. The last one. This one's got a lot going on. So the 6 a.m. Fahrenheit temperature readings were taken each morning during a certain week. Temperatures read 15 degrees, 3 degrees, -2, -5, -7, -3, and 6. Find the average. Okay, 6 a.m. temperature for that week. So average, remember, is like mean, average. We're going to add all the numbers together and divide by how many there were. So we're going to write this as 15 plus 3 plus -2 plus -5 plus -7 plus -3 plus 6. Woo. All of that divided by, so I'm going to write it like a fraction, divided by how many there were, which we can count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So divided by 7. I'm going to walk you through how to solve this one, how I would solve it, just to make life a little bit easier, which I didn't even need those parentheses, did I? Okay, so I like to go through and add all of my positive numbers first, just so I don't have to think back and forth about what my rules are. So I'm going to add this 15 plus 3 plus 6. So 15 plus 3 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. Okay, now I'm going to go through and just add all my negatives. So I'm going to add the -2 plus -5, that's -7. Plus -7 is -14. Plus -3 is -17. Okay, and that's still all over 7. So I just kind of simplified it a little bit. Now I can do 24 plus -17. That's a little easier than my brain having to go back and forth with each number. So that is different sign, subtract. So 24 minus 17 will give me 7 left over. So I have 7 over 7. 7 divided by 7 is just 1. So again, it's a temperature. Temperature can be negative or positive. This was a positive number, so 1 degree Fahrenheit is my average. And that is it, guys.